Hello, my name is Nobukumalo and welcome to my channel. If you're here for the first time, welcome back if you are coming back. I hope you're doing well and I hope the week has gone well. Just want to say thank you so much for the constant engagement, for the constant support. Some of you don't even say it here on YouTube, but you've sent me messages either, on WhatsApp or on Instagram, wherever, just telling me that you find these videos valuable, and that is honestly all that I wanted when I started this channel. So it's really encouraging to know that the effort and the work that I put into this is really appreciated and is, bringing value to people. So thank you so much for that. And at the time I'm filming this, we are over 300 subscribers in just a month, which is, I think, amazing. I really appreciate it. I know it's not only because of my work, but it's because you guys have been sharing with your people and helping the channel grow. So thank you so much for that. As you can see, I am back on my couch. No nice flowery island background anymore, sadly. Back to my apartment, back to wearing polo necks, nothing no fancy summer dresses, because life must go on. The holiday was nice, but now I'm back to real life. Speaking of holidays, I don't know if I'm the only one who, when you're on holiday, you have time to just think about life, not about work, not about anything stressful, but just about, life. And when I was on holiday, one of the things that I thought about a lot is that this is nice, man. I remember constantly saying that this is amazing, man. I'm just sitting here, just chilling, having a good time. No stress, no thoughts about anything, just enjoying the moment, just being there, being, well rested and just relaxing. And I was thinking to myself that, what, I want this for myself on a regular basis, right? I might not be able to afford to go to the Maldives like every other month because it's flipping expensive, but I was just thinking, I want to live. I want this for myself. I want to take a holiday here and there. I want to travel. I want to switch off and just do the things that matter to me. Basically, I want to live. And that's what inspired the topic for today's video, which is don't postpone living. As if, I don't know, this person was reading my mind. I came to work on Monday. I came back to work and in a new group, and we're having induction, and the facilitator said, let's go around the room. You just tell us your name and you also tell us one fun or interesting fact about you, right? So we went around the room, and then at the end of it, she was like, I've noticed this a lot, not just from this group, but from previous groups I've facilitated, that a lot of the interesting and the fun facts about us are things that we used to do, right? So you hear people saying, oh, a fun fact about me is that I used to be able to play the piano, or I used to paint, or I used to do ABCD. And then she said something so powerful. She was like, please don't let the most interesting things about you, the things that set you on fire, the things that make you happy, be a memory of the past. It's very easy for this job to take over and become your all, that you neglect all the other parts that make you that make you this colorful and a full-rounded, wholesome human being, and you solely devote your life to this job. So please don't do that. Make time for the things that matter to you. I know it gets busy, but make sure that you make time for those things that define you other than this job, because at the end of your career, however long this career is going to last for you, you do not want to look back and wish you had lived and have nothing else to show except for the job, because at the end of the day, it really is just a job. So please make sure you are living life even in the busyness. And I was like, amazing. I sat down and I thought about how from the beginning of the year, or maybe the end of last year, I kept saying that, I want my 28th year. So I turned 27 on the 19th of March. So I was saying, I want this next year to be big. I want to live. I want to travel. I want to spoil myself. I want to, if I have the means to make life more, automate some process and make life more convenient, I'm going to spend on that. If I want to go somewhere, I'm going to go. If I want to, I had so many plans about the future, about my 28th year. I said it's going to be a big year. I want to live, which is part of why it had to start with a big bang here in the Maldives. But I kept postponing living, right? I had 3 or 4, whatever number of months before my birthday actually came, and yet daily I was saying, from the 19th of March 2022, I want to leave. And thinking back right now, I'm like, what if I had not gotten to my birthday? right? What if I had died just before? What if I had faced death in the face like just before my birthday? Would I have been happy that I lived, or would I have been felt with feelings that I've wasted life waiting for a future that I'm no longer going to have? And so when I was thinking during my holiday, and even, you know, with the facilitator who spoke, I was like, so many of us are so fixated on the future that we forget to live today, right? Don't get me wrong, the future has its place. So yes, we do plan for the future. We do plan for our retirement. We plan for generational wealth. We plan for building for our kids. We plan for big trips. We plan for big things that will happen in the future. But we can't let the future be the goal, right? We can't let the future define us. What are we doing today? Are we actually living today? And when I was reading up about this, idea or our inclination to like postpone living, to postpone enjoyment, to postpone gratification for the future, I came across these really interesting quotes which I think were amazing and really, captured what I had in mind. And I liked this one. So this one says, living your best life is not a fancy thing. It's just an idea that you are making the most of your time so that if something does happen tomorrow, hopefully you will have fewer regrets. Then the other one says, your golden years are now. Each day you wake is a golden day. Each year of life is a golden year, and you must live it as such. I thought these were just amazing. When we think about living our best lives, we usually waiting for that paycheck when we can now afford the most expensive holidays or the most expensive things. Living our best lives is usually, coupled with having the finest of things, the most expensive and the most luxurious things, But actually, the first quote says that that's not what living your best life is. Living your best life is making the most of life in this moment. Living your best life is knowing that, tomorrow is not guaranteed, and if something goes wrong tomorrow and I can't do those things I was planning to do in the future, will I have fewer regrets about the life that I've lived so far? And then the second one says that your golden years are now. Every day alive is a golden day. Every year is a golden year. So some of us, for example, myself, I was waiting for my 28th year for me to finally leave. You might be, waiting for that specific day when that specific thing is going to happen, which will, bring you to life and make you finally leave. But the thing is, each and every day above the ground is a gift. And I think if anything, the past 2 or 3 years have taught us is that death is much, much, much closer than we think it is. COVID really showed us that you can literally get sick and be gone in a matter of days. Young, old, healthy, unhealthy, it was no respecter of persons. And as much as we know that, even the Bible says that the living know that they shall die, I don't think, but at least in my lifetime, we had been faced with a situation where we had to literally look at the possibility of death in the face and see it as something that is actually within reach. It was always a concept of, oh, I'm gonna get old and die, or maybe I might catch a bad disease and die, or if it's unfortunate, I might be in an accident and die. But then COVID came with this thing that we can't touch, we can't see, but you could literally get it, and it could literally shut down your body and you're gone. And so it's just, realizing that death is much closer than we think it is, and saying, what is it that I can do today to enjoy life so that at the end of my journey, I will have fewer regrets. So when I was on holiday, I did this reel on Instagram. I'll probably put it somewhere here, where it was saying that forget the budget. You've worked hard and you've been paid, and there's this pair of sneakers that you want to buy, but the budget is tight. Forget the budget. Buy that pair of sneakers. Look after your emotions. It was supposed to be a joke about the soft life and all that, but when you think about it, I kind of resonate with that. Don't entirely forget the budget, because the budget is there for a reason, and you need to save and you need to do all those things, but also spoil yourself. If you have the means, if you have the time, if you have the opportunity, seize the opportunities to live life to the fullest. If you have time and you have a friend who wants to meet up, don't wait for the future. Don't be like, oh, we can set up a time, I'll be in touch. Set the time now. If you have a few days of leave, which ideally maybe you want to save up for a big trip, that's well and fine, but what is it that I can do around? Where can I go here in London, which is close, where I can enjoy life whilst I wait for, you know, the big thing to come, you know? So it's each and every day where you are, what is it that you can do to make sure that you are enjoying life? Because remember that life is happening right now, like right this moment. Life is not happening tomorrow. Right now, life is happening, and every single second and minute and hour that you lose, you are never going to, you know, get back. Life is happening right now. And I think the other things that we usually want to segment life, right? Oh, this is time for my career, this is time for family, this is time for this. But another thing that I've come to realize is really that life happens all at once. Unfortunately, life happens all at once. This is not to say like do everything and don't plan or segment your life, but it's also realizing that as much as we can try and plan and set aside time for different phases in our lives, at some point it all gels into one thing because life happens at once. There's never going to be a time where you can solely focus on just being young, and then solely focus on just making money, and then solely focus on family, and then solely focus on relationships. You know, as part of adulting is realizing that the career, the family, the relationships, the money, the personal development needs to find time, you know, in this same lifestyle, in these 24 hours. I need to find ways to make my marriage, my job, my career, my faith, my religion work all in the same time, because life is happening right now and life happens all at once. So now, how do we make sure we're living every day? How do we make sure that we're not postponing living? I think the first thing to do is to identify those things that are dear to you and really matter to you. If there's anything that, you know, life, especially like in corporate, in high functioning corporate, that has taught me is that we do not have the same value systems. So things that matter most to me are not necessarily the things that matter most to the person next to me. For some people, the job is their everything, and they don't see any other thing in life apart from making sure that the job works. For some people, yes, the job has its place, but for them, their kids are their priority. For other people, they don't want kids, but they really want to focus on their spouse. So it's about taking a deep thought to think, what are the things that matter most to me? When I've closed my laptop, when I'm winding down, and when I'm, you know, relaxing, what are those things that make me feel fulfilled? So identify those things that are dear to you. And after you've identified, make sure that you make time for them right now. Don't schedule life for tomorrow or for next week. Don't schedule your family and your relationships and, you know, your faith for next week, but make sure that in the time that you have, you're making the most of it. And then the second thing is to really just take one day at a time, because that's all we have. And I said earlier that taking one day at a time doesn't mean you don't plan for the future, but it's saying that I only have today, if not even today, because I don't know if I'm going to make it past the next 2 hours, but I only have now. So I'm going to make sure that I make the most of today, because today is all that I'm guaranteed of, and I don't know if tomorrow is going to come. So today, how can I be a better wife? How can I be a better friend, a better daughter, a better, you know, employee, a better everything? How can I be the best of myself, and how can I live my best life today, right now, one day at a time? And part of it then translates to not delaying or waiting for a specific moment of gratification to come so that you leave, because tomorrow is not promised. We do not know that tomorrow is going to come. Remember, like I said earlier, the living know that they shall die. It's not a probabilities issue. It's not if you're alive, maybe you might die, but the chances that you won't die are, you know, 1:2. The default setting is that we get born and we die. And unfortunately, we do not know when we die. So since we do not know when we die, we cannot assume that we die 40 years from now. But we must live life with the assumption that we might not make it past the next hour. And so what are we doing to make sure that we're living our purpose? And this is not just about enjoyment, right? I'm not saying, but don't postpone living. I'm not just saying like don't postpone buying the fancy things or going to fancy places. It's about even purpose. What is that one thing that you wanted to do? What is that one thing that you feel is your life's purpose? What you think you're gifted in? What you think is your gift to the world? Take that gift. Ensure that by the time you leave Earth, you have fully exhausted your potential. You know, I spoke about this in my first ever video, which was titled "Just Start, the World Needs You." To say, what is your gift? Even if it's been done before in a certain way, no one can ever do it like you. So what is your life's purpose? What is your calling? What is it that you want the world to remember you for? And make sure that you are daily working on making sure that you cement yourself and that you are known and that you build a name for yourself and that the world will remember you for having lived in the lifetime that you had. So yeah, this is just what I thought to talk about today. So let's live, man. Life is tough. We need to think about the bigger picture, about the future, but let's not neglect living today in the now. Let's just make the most of what we can do right now with the means, with the time, with the people that we have who are dear to us. Thank you once again for joining me. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe to the channel. Please, let's make the channel grow. We are beyond 300 subscribers now, which is amazing. But please keep watching, keep liking, keep engaging, and keep sharing the channel. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. See you next time. Bye.